Elizabeth, thanks so much. Thank you. And that is the news at 1 for today. The news continues, of course, though, on BBC One, because it's time to join our colleagues for the news wherever you are this afternoon. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jane. I'm Crispin Rolfe and you're watching BBC Look North. First, and Humberside Police have been carrying out a series of raids this week to tackle organised crime and drug dealing. The force is stepping up activity over the next 3 months as part of Operation Shield. Officers have been making arrests and seizing illegal items like drugs and weapons. And in just 2 days of action, 27 people have been arrested. Our reporter Natalie Bell joined police on a raid in Bridlington.
Police officers! Stay where you are!
This is Operation Shield. Police have come here to raid this house for drugs. It took officers just minutes to find what they were looking for and arrest the person they'd been targeting.
We're methodically searching each room as we go around, search for anything that could be related to drugs, drug use. We've found some phones, we've found some cash, we've found lots of small dealer bags, just some drugs and bits and paraphernalia for now.
Police dog Sonny was also on hand to help search the house in Bridlington.
One of the events the dog has indicated on a bag, so I've come up and checked the bag and I've discovered a large quantity of cash. So now this cash will be seized as evidence and it will be passed over as part of the investigation.
The dogs that we're using for this operation in particular are our drugs, cash, weapons dogs. So, as it says on the tin, really, they're trained to find drugs, cash, weapons. The purpose for them being here is it helps with the officers with speeding up the search. Obviously, the dog can cover a lot of rooms, a lot of areas, a lot quicker than what they can.
In just 2 days, police have made 27 arrests and charged 16 people for dealing Class A drugs. They'll be continuing this operation over the next 3 months, not just tackling drugs, but also clamping down on organised crime, burglaries and antisocial behaviour.
Stupid round here with it now. It's just gone on and on and on, but so blatant about it, and it's about time it stopped.
How important are warrants like this to, make communities in Bridlington safer?
Massively important because at the end of the day, drug dealing causes a lot of antisocial behaviour, doesn't it? It just brings a town down, so when they see that we're doing something like this, we can hopefully make the communities feel a little bit more confident that we're actually doing something and safer to walk around, especially at night time when people are drug dealing, yeah.
It's not just Bridlington that's being targeted by police, but warrants will be taking place across the Humberside Force area over the coming months.
I'm so glad to see this, to see the police doing the work. Excellent. Fantastic.
Natalie Bell, BBC Look North, Bridlington.
Now, the Chief Constable of Humberside Police says Operation Shield's already proving a success. Paul Anderson says the work will help keep communities safe.
Those that come from out of the area and they deal drugs, to their children and to their communities. We've responded to that. We've made a massive impact, and in terms of the drug dealing in that area, we will rip the absolute heart out of it. It doesn't end there because crime does go on, and we recognise that, and that's why we're saying it's longer than 3 months. But we're going to be on the front foot. To be
To discuss the former RAF Scampton as a home for asylum seekers, but there's fresh anger and anxiety on Scampton camp, the estate next door, about how close the cabins are to their homes, and also at a job advert for the site which describes the migrants as potentially dangerous. Joe Makel has the very latest.
Already dozens of portable buildings on the site. More arrived this week. But just how close they are to people's houses is causing some concern.
Using Google Maps from where we can see the cabins are to just my house is 300 metres. Everyone's frustrated, anxious, and when you can see it getting closer and closer to your home, it just makes it all that little bit more real.
And a job advert for the site has caused anger.
They're trying to tell the public and the residents that everything's going to be fine, they're contained on site and everything else. And then they come out with a job description that says these people are potentially dangerous. In my opinion, they've lied to us again, and it's unacceptable.
An online meeting for the Home Office and the community has been organised for the 27th, but the first asylum seekers are due around that time. The Home Office maintains this site is better than using hotels. Jo Makel, BBC Look North, Scampton.
Well, it's one of the most beautiful buildings you could ever hope to see. Stone walls, turrets, climbing ivy. But inside, some of the darkest chapters of Lincolnshire's history have also been written there. This week, Lincoln Crown Court celebrates its 200th anniversary, and for the first time we've been allowed in with cameras to see the off-limit areas which only the judges and the accused normally get to see. As Susie Lawson reports.
Well, we're used to seeing reporters standing here outside the Crown Court because filming inside is not allowed. But today we're getting a chance for the very first time to have a look around.
So this is Court 2. This is the courtroom of the resident judge. He or she will sit there, preside over the case, so the murder cases, drugs cases. This is our dock. This is where the defendant stands in front of the judge, and you can get some idea from where we're standing here as to what it's like to stand facing the judge if you're before him for a trial or for sentence. So we're now stood where the jurors sit. So 12 jurors will sit in this area whilst trials are going on. As you can see from here, they've got clear access and visual access to the judge, the court clerk, prosecutor and defence, and obviously also the defendant or defendants that are in the dock.
So it is really rare to allow any filming within a court building. We want to open the doors for the public to come inside and to see what happens inside this building, inside the justice system, and for them to have an understanding of what goes on.
And just to say that if you're interested in the work of Lincoln's Crown Court, then they're opening their doors to the public. That's on Saturday, and they'll be holding a mock trial. Finally, family and friends of a man who died suddenly on Christmas Day are walking between two Yorkshire landmarks to buy defibrillators in his memory. Retired teacher Keith Wood died from heart-related problems. The group set off at dawn to walk more than 50 miles from York Minster to Beverley Minster.
We're doing this walk in memory of my dad Keith, who devastatingly passed away very suddenly on Christmas Day. We're walking 51 miles from York Minster to Beverley Minster. Over 3 days, we'll arrive back in Beverley on Sunday. We're raising money for 2 defibrillators in the community that he loved, supporting 2 other charities.
Well, let's hope they continue to have good weather. Let's get the forecast with Keely Donovan.
Hello there, good afternoon. I think it's going to be quite a pleasant afternoon, dry with some good spells of sunshine around. I think most of the thicker cloud has now moved to the north of us, although we may see a bit more cloud filtering down into parts of East Yorkshire at times. But by and large, it does look like it's been quite pleasant for the last hour or two, and it will continue to be quite pleasant through the afternoon. Just a very small risk of the odd shower perhaps for East Yorkshire, but for most places dry with sunny spells and temperatures on the warm side getting up to around 22 or 23 degrees. Through this evening and overnight, yes, there'll be some clear spells, variable amounts of cloud. That cloud thicken up at times to produce a few showers. There'll be further clear spells into tomorrow morning, but I think we'll start to see a bit more cloud spilling down from the north later in the night, and temperatures will fall back to around 13 degrees. So there may well be some early brightness, particularly around the Wash across parts of Lincolnshire, but overall tomorrow there will be a lot of cloud around, perhaps thick enough for the odd shower, but generally it will be a dry story, if not becoming a fairly overcast one. Temperatures getting up around Lincolnshire to around 21 or 22 degrees, that bit cooler further north. And then into Sunday, a little bit more of a humid feel, not necessarily warmer though, with pulses of heavy showers, outbreaks of rain. Some of the rain could be thundery, and then it remains unsettled with a more westerly flow through next week.
Well, there's worse weather for a walk to Beverley Minster than that. Thanks, Keely. That's it, though, from us. We've more on all those stories tonight and more on the issues of dangerous dogs and also school uniforms. All to come tonight at 6:30 with Peter. That's it from me. Bye-bye.